So I was playing in high school golf my freshman year, and I'd probably gotten to like the fifth or sixth tournament of the year, and I'd been playing well up until that point. I played in not only local tournaments, but I'd played in some national tournaments, and I felt like I had some experience under my belt. And up until that point, I'd kind of had a reoccurring pattern of playing well for a lot of the tournament, or really anytime I played really well, I would have one bad shot, which would lead into a bad hole, and then it would turn into two or three bad holes, and it would end up messing up my entire round. Um, so, in high school golf, I had a couple times where I was near the lead, and even some other tournaments, I'd be near the lead, and I'd make one bad shot, and it would turn into a bunch of bad shots, and it would end up ruining my entire round. And so I came to this tournament, like the fifth or sixth tournament of the year, and up until that point, I'd spoken to my father quite a bit about this, and I was really frustrated with how I had been performing because I felt like I could do so much better. And every time he would just tell me, you just got to stay patient out there. You can't get too far ahead of yourself. You can't worry about what everybody else is doing. You can't worry about what score you got to shoot to win. Just play one shot at a time. So I got to this tournament, and I played really well in the front nine. I shot a couple under, and I saw the leaderboard at the after 9 holes, and I saw that I was one shot out of the lead, but there were probably 5 or 6 of us right there at 2 or 3 under at the turn. And in my mind at that time, I was like, oh man, I got to play really well to win this tournament. And so I came to the 13th hole, and I was 3 under for my round, and I snap hooked my drive and I hit it in the water. And I had one of those moments where, one of those moments that I'd been having in a lot of my prior tournaments where it was like, oh boy, here we go. And I made double on the hole, and I remember it was like a learning process for me. Finally something clicked, and I thought to myself, it's windy out here, it's a tough day, let's just stay patient and let's see what happens. Let's just play one shot at a time, and let's not get too upset about that. And so I made a few pars, and I built a little bit of momentum. I made one birdie coming in, and I remember I finished on the 18th hole, and I remember thinking to myself, that's not going to be enough, but I'm proud of myself that I hung in there, and I didn't let it turn into a horrible back nine. And sure enough, I got into the pro shop, and I was actually the leader in the pro shop, and a couple guys behind me who had a chance to win, they came in, and they ended up shooting worse than I did as well. And so I ended up squeaking out a win by one shot. And that was a huge learning moment for me, because I really felt like at that time, it was like, wow, other people make mistakes too. You don't have to be perfect out there. And so from there, I ended up a couple tournaments later, I shot 67, and that was my low round at that time, and so I won that event, and I just felt like that was a huge momentum builder for me at that time in my golfing career. And so I really just want to share with you, just a simple lesson of stay patient out there, play one shot at a time, and don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Just focus on what you can control and let the chips fall where they do.